hero type pick. A Jug as a carry with Blade. You need something that can easily burn through the living armor, or it's going to be making this Bristleback even harder to kill, or any other hero Secret have.
EG's draft, has that just almost primarily been targeting like almost all of the supports?
All of YapzOr's heroes, more or less.
Yeah.
Damn.
The Kato is the only one that I don't think I've seen Secret play.
Well, maybe they saw what GH could do with it, and
I think it's the Bristle pairing.
Okay.
It's just the double quill spray. Just makes him super powerful.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It's just not a hero you'd normally expect or want to see YapzOr on. He's more active. Perhaps Puppey could play it in like more of a 5-position role.
I'm thinking what the YapzOr hero is going to be. Pretty much everything he's played at this tournament's actually banned out. Other than Kunkka, but Kunkka Treant doesn't sound good at all.
Puppey's playing the Dream Protector, more like a 5-position at that point then?
I think he tends to, yeah. I think it fits more of their style. I think it's what we saw out of them at Dream League and stuff like that too.
Skywrath Mage.
EG have banned Nyx Assassin in every single one of their games.
Where did that pick come from?
That's very different. Very good versus the Puck, though, for that instant kind of silence. I think Ben talked about it the other day when like Shadow Shamans were picked versus the Puck. It makes his life like pretty difficult. If you jump in, you just get silenced and you can actually get brought down.
10 seconds remaining.
Very pressuring hero in the early game. I don't think I've ever seen YapzOr play it, though.
When the going gets tough.
Could this be a mid Skywrath?
Unlikely.
Unlikely, though,
It's a
right?
really bad matchup versus Puck.
Yeah. You do get the magic resist later on, but it is also, in the laning, it's way too difficult.
Awful.
Yeah.
They don't have a combo hero with it, though, right now. You always want a combo hero with Skywrath. Trying to think of the good ones. The good ones, best ones are Void and Clock, but those are both banned.
So I know you were theory crafting about the Kotl ban, but I'm a little baffled as to why EG have banned it in almost every single one of their games. So do you think they know something that we don't? Kotl to be big this patch?
It just messes with aggression, and EG's been pure aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah. They played against, some of the teams they played against, like Planet Odd, have a Kotl specialist as well. It's kind of maybe a targeted ban against certain players and teams.
Warlock.
It's the first Warlock from EG.
They used to pick it a lot more, but now that they don't have Crystal Maiden, it's the other 5 that they turn to.
So much team fight on their side now. A lot of like pretty high cooldown ultis, though. They're sinking in the Warlock.
How much of Secret's hand have they shown now with that Skywrath?
Very, very little, I think. I mean, the Skywrath itself is like an unusual pick, but the fact that this 4th pick is what's going to reveal a lot more. Like, you don't know whether Bristles carry or offlane. You only know one of the 3 cores. It's this 4th pick where you get a much clearer idea of what Secret's going to be doing with their draft.
I think they need like a Ember. I think the root is really good for sinking and Puck. And they need the setup for the Skywrath ulti. And if it's a bad lane, I think they can have some Treant help there, but like,
they can
I can't really think of that many other cores that pair well with the Sky.
DK, right? DK versus Puck, instant disable, sets up pretty decently for it. Works really well with Bristle to have those like 2 beefy frontliners.
Not instant anymore, though.
Yeah, not instant anymore,
that
but
sucks. It really sucks for that matchup.
It does suck for that matchup.
That's pretty good. I think with that they can play a pretty fast-paced game. Although the armor is pretty useless.
It is. He's been building a lot of good call. He's been building a lot of hoods and stuff on like the DKs, but yeah, they go for the Ember Spirit. Wow, very fast pick draw Ranger by EG.
I think they were expecting that. They pick it very often versus the Ember Spirit.
I think the draw pick was kind of like their draft's in a tough place as far as dealing with a Bristle, and they just want to go for some kind of like all-in push type strat, although it's very hard to play the draw Ranger against a Bristle if the Bristle does get farmed.
Skywrath is like food, though. Skywrath and Ember both have super low armor. Like any of these heroes will get destroyed if they get right.
5 seconds remaining.
Gotta throw in that tree, though, right? The tree can just be like on top of you, and you're just like messes up with a lot of what your chances are with the draw Ranger, because you just lose your aura or your marksmanship.
Turn to ban.
Treant's also quite nice versus Warlock, because you can always just, I mean, if you're fighting in the trees, if you're fighting in the jungle, you can just like find that back line.
They still don't have an easy solution for the living armor either, so that's, I think, also a concern if you're trying to just initiate on someone with a Sanking or Puck and there's a quick living armor, that hero is very likely to survive.
Always worried about getting brooded.
Yeah, they banned the Brood. They've been banning like a lot of those, like their last ban usually is like a Huskar, a Brood, one of those kind of like cheese things that
they
really
don't want to get cheesed out.
They even have the Sanking this time and they still ban the Brood.
And Brood is like used to be like the Drow counter, like for a big part of when Drow was a very common strategy to go to.
Drow Weaver to be.
Probably looking at what, Sumail heroes now? The ban out for Secret.
But I mean, what can you be? You played 9 different heroes.
With Drow Ranger, it's much more limited though.
Okay.
So you're looking at ranged heroes that generally attack pretty fast, like OD, Lina, and Wind Ranger are the 3 that you usually see with Drow Ranger. Anything else? You could Puck, but I think that they would have scaling issues if they put Puck mid.
Go back for some like Medusa type hero with
Medusa's
the Drow Ranger.
Very likely to. Yeah, you're right.
OD. There's
They go for the OD.
Yeah. Did Secret not ban anything? Is that
right?
I guess so. I'm so confused. I was waiting for a ban to pop up, and then suddenly
OD pops up.
EG picking up an OD.
Gosh, do you think they?
Phantom
Yeah, that's not PA.
PA, the anti-Drow.
The anti-Drow.
But there's so much magic damage, but the evasion's really good versus the OD and the Drow Ranger.
So I think we saw YapzOr pick the Skywrath, so it looks like it's going to be Puppey Tree. Ooh.
I like Secret's lineup more.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Even with the kind of spanner in the works of Skywrath, you like it?
I think Skywrath's fine. It's just the Drow Ranger, I think, is pretty vulnerable here. They still don't have a great way to deal with the Bristleback.
We saw it last time they played Drow, where the Drow kind of got bullied a bit, had a rough time, but the other lanes and heroes just did so well it didn't matter for EG.
That was versus Planet Odd, I believe.
Okay.
I think a lot of this depends on how Ember does in the mid lane versus OD. We've seen that matchup go terribly wrong for Ember.
I'm liking Secret as well. I really like they have Treant Protector and they have Bristleback. Like I think these 2 heroes can actually just go out of control, and the Drow Ranger might not have too much of a relevance in this game. So even though Puck might get stuff, it's like a trade-off.
Despite outlining Secret as the underdogs, there seems to be a general vibe of Secret winning that draft phase.
I'm going with EG though. I think they've got strong enough lanes with the Drow or the Warlock to zone the Bristle. And I think the Sky for YapzOr is a bit of a question mark for me, so I'll go with EG.
To be fair, there have been question marks surrounding Yaps in the past, and every single time
That's true.
we find ourselves talking about him afterwards. Let's have a look though. Secret versus Evil Geniuses. Hot favorites going up against the team that have just knocked on everybody's door so far here in Moscow. Let's check it out though as we dive into game 1 of our first semi-final here in Moscow.
Get out. We have got a huge matchup to kick us off today. Secret versus Evil Geniuses. I'm Toby One. I'm joined by the wonderful Purge.
Hey man, how's it going? Pretty excited for the match. The draft is pretty interesting as well. EG going for more of a Drow strat with some ranged heroes. A little bit what we expected to open up, but the Drow kind of came out of nowhere. You were surprised?
Yeah, Drow, she's been appearing throughout the tournament, but it's always been a the distance, but with no Tats and no Clockwork banned out early on, she's going to have a lot more space to work. But as the boys in the panel were saying, Drow Ranger, one of these heroes which can die time and time again, but it won't matter if you buff up your lanes so much better. So Sumail's going to have a great time, Universe is going to have a great time, and we know Arteezy is no stranger to dying on Drow Ranger. Back when he used to run at mid, I remember one of the games he died like 7 times, got no kills whatsoever, but he just amplified everyone else so heavily. I think it was
I don't know if that same thing is going to happen though, because I mean it's an OD mid. OD is very good at winning his lane, or at least getting some lane advantage. But transitioning wise, it depends on hero matchups. And against a Phantom Assassin, it can be tough because of the evasion, like they said. And even against a Bristleback, he can just turn his back. Even though it's pure damage, he still reduces it. So they Secret definitely has ways to play around it, and they have very good diving heroes between Invisible Tree, PA for Blink, Bristle just running at you, and Ember Spirit doing the same. So if Secret can find the right moments, they can definitely get on top of EG and quite easily punish them if they can get in all the way before getting initiated on.
I definitely agree with that. And that's where like the EG draft has a couple of problems, but as long as EG are able to be the ones that dictate the pace of the lane, then I would lean towards EG being the victors in this matchup.
Especially if they have a lane advantage too. If they do very well in the first 15-20 minutes, it's going to be a lot of towers dying most likely, if the tree can't stop that. And that's the other thing that's at play that's kind of interesting, is that Living Armor could really offset what EG tries to do against buildings. It can take longer to take their buildings, and if they aren't fully successful, they'll be healed back up. So there's a lot of cool play that can go back and forth in this game.
Well, Team Secret already started off with a nice play. Puppey has blocked the pull cam. He notices too that Universe is the one running up on the top lane. So Sand King is going to be Zion their support, rotating up to the top lane to try and help him out. While the bottom lane, they're going to push Arteezy to the off lane. So it's going to be Warlock as well as the Drow Ranger running the off lane. And Team Secret have already adapted their lanes as well. They're running both a Bristleback plus the Skywrath Mage on the bottom and pushing MP to the top.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that is for sure what they expect. I kind of like the idea of PA versus a Drow as well, because you can gap close and hit him easily, but maybe this is the bigger threat lane for sure. Between Drow and Warlock, 2 ranged heroes, they've got really good heal. I think they just want to try to bully Universe, and the root from Tree is going to help out with that.
I'm wondering too on the bottom lane, like who wins out actually? Like you talk about the Drow as well as the Warlock having some good damage, good harassment. Can the Skywrath Mage actually zone them out? We've saw the power of KheZu just to sit in the front lines, and then YapzOr just spams from the rear with the Arcane Bolt. Is that enough to burn the resources of EG before the 5-minute Shrine?
EG kind of has the best case scenario, actually. It's 2 ranged heroes. They have bonus damage from a passive aura. YapzOr playing Skywrath Mage. This is a hero with very, very low armor, and he's got good damage output. But they've also got a heal to counteract that, so I kind of feel like EG's got what they need.
Be careful, the setup is there from Samael, it's imprisonment. Zai's ready with the Burrow Strike, they're going to get the stun. Ember was so low with no Flame Guard, PMS won't protect him. The Searing Chase, and the Sal! He's back into the tree line! Zai doesn't have the mana for a Burrow Strike, but you know he's not giving it up just yet. He's clarity up, he wants to wrap around the side and catch Midone as he goes back past the tier 2 town, but Midone is running side on the west. They cannot reach him there.
That was the most dead hero I've ever seen, but the crazy thing was that he backed off just far enough to cast Searing Chains, and that ability interrupts whatever you're doing as a hero, so it canceled their animation. They had to re-attack, and that only gave them 1 hit. Andy salved during that, which got him just enough HP to live. And the cool part as well, Puppey instantly TPing in the mid lane, because creeps under tower, somebody's got to get this experience. So instantly he gets there, he gets a fast level 3, and even though they harass the Emperor, it's going to delay his game. But Puppey can now take these 3 levels to the top and do good things.
And as we've seen with a lot of the Ember Spirits, it's all about the catch-up game, which you can play afterwards. Thanks to the early levels, it's a level 1 in Living Armor, which can be grabbed. So YapzOr gets the heal on the bottom lane while Zai was initiating on him. Also interesting to see the Puppey, no points up in lead seed, even with this aggressiveness he's been having up on the top lane.
He's got 1 more skill point. He may put it in there, probably will, because it'll allow him to kill better.
But almost every Treant has actually bypassed both Aegis guys and Living Armor to get that lead seed early on.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, and Universe getting his salve interrupted. This is really bad for him. I thought he read that Puppey would be here. He could go down.
Phase shift. Wow! Dodges the dagger.
Yeah. If PA had Blink Strike, maybe they dive, but didn't have any more skills. And Universe now in a really bad situation. His last Tango will trickle out. He'll be at 40% HP. He's got an H-Charge Wand, but past that, he needs a bottle soon or something else. Losing that salve was very costly.
Okay, someone needs to rotate towards the mid. Like, I understand that mid 1 is down, and we talked about him playing catch-up later on, but Samael cannot continue to get this far ahead. 22 for 6 against the 9 for 1 Ember.
Yeah, it's a pretty big advantage, 1 level as well. I mean, he's going to have a hard lane no matter what happened, but I think he just has to kind of deal with it, and I think that's all right because the other lanes for Secret are going very well. And in fact, I think the hero that I'm most worried about having a bad early game is always going to be PA, because that hero with just levels and no items isn't very effective. So I feel like for sure PA has to have a good time.
Zai starting his move towards the mid. It's a really good time as well. Imprisont's up, but you know that the protection, the shields are gone for the Ember Spirit. This time there's no salve. Mid 1, back to the tier 1 tower. There wasn't actually a real follow-up because OD has gone for a 0-2-2 build. Nothing unusual about that. They just didn't have enough damage to really follow up, but they do force mid 1 all the way back to base.
And once again, they get a support rotating to the mid lane. This time it's going to be Skywrath Mage. Very much needed levels on this hero, for sure. The faster you get 6, the easier it is for you to do gank combos. And you're pretty much light on disable. You've got a little slow in silence, but very high in damage. So maybe he can use that for really good uses. And against an OD, I think he can be pretty effective this game, because that hero needs to not be silenced, to cast spells, save people with Astral, and just do a lot of damage.
Do you think it's actually worthwhile for YapzOr to prioritize going in for the Ancient Seal against Samael?
I'm not sold on that build because it just means your damage output is completely related to your ultimate. So I actually do like it when players max Arcane Bolt first. But maybe he'll do something like a 2-1-2 build, depending on what his needs are.
I suppose the other thing to look at is the amplification. Like, what else is he actually able to work with? The rest of his team mainly uses physical damage.
Other than Ember, I think that's the one guy that he can make a lot of good things happen on.
Now they catch the Skywrath Mage. Ember Spirit is just farming up, Living Armor, OD Imprisonment, but here comes your TP. Is Tree on the way? Lee Sin will give a little bit of extra life. Will it be enough? YapzOr won't make it back to the tower in time. Evil Genius is still first blood. Zai, hiding inside the Sandstorm, will be able to survive as well. A lot of rotations, and the kill still goes the way of EG.
And Sumail's the one to get the kill as well. So first blood going to the enemy mid. Very dangerous, especially the enemy Sumail player. That's not a good one to throw gold towards. but decent for both teams. Not the biggest loss ever for Secret, considering it was just a support.
Yeah. They're still going to look later on to have MP really hit like a truck. KheZu trouble, the double slow coming up from both Upheaval and the cold arrows of Arteezy. He went for a 2-0-2, so there's no silence, but Zai, a Burrow strike, catching out KheZu and YapzOr. They still can't get outside this bloody Upheaval. YapzOr has no point up in the silence, so Crit can just stand his ground, keep the silence going. They turn the Shadow Word onto YapzOr. He steals up on Zai, but Zai doesn't have the mana for a Burrow strike. It won't matter. Arteezy has the damage. 3 kills to 0 in Team Secret. Starting to lose control of their lanes. They already lost control of mid, but with this double kill on bottom, the EG offlanes are looking really good. Oh, and a shrine. Wonderful.
Just a really nice play from EG there. They skilled Upheaval. They hadn't used it yet, probably, so their opponents didn't expect it. And the worst part was that despite YapzOr being there, he didn't yet have Ancient Seal because he was only level 3. Ticked over in the last second or so, and he maybe could have used it to instantly remove the Upheaval, but
mid lane,
he held it.
They're going on top of Sumail. They got the lead seed out. Mid one, Searing Chains, actually missing the chains, but it won't matter when MP arrives. Getting himself a crit to kill off the OD. So you can leave that sword sitting in the ground. What does it actually say? Rest for the wicked. Sumail, you be wicked.
And that's exactly what Secret needs to do if they're losing their lanes. Take heroes from places they're going semi-okay, show up somewhere, get a kill, and then reset up your lanes in a positive situation. And right now MP is very effective at roaming, so more good rotations like that, he could get a fast
this flank around.
It could be good ganks.
He goes up through the tree line so he can get around the back near to Arteezy. And in fact, Arteezy walks into MP. It's like he didn't know that MP was moving all the way down. They just have to move forward. The double guts at least stops the slow from YapzOr, but cannot make it back to the tier 1 tower. Rotations are good, and KheZu will claim the kill on bottom lane.
Really nice rotation. Again, limits his farm potential, but killing heroes limits their farm potential, so ultimately good for Secret. And he picks up a really fast cloak, a very weird item for Phantom Assassin, but because he has good evasion and okay-ish HP, the counter is nukes. They'll go right through the evasion, and there's a lot of magic damage coming from EG, so I like the choice, even if it just sits right there for the rest of the game.
It looks like he switched himself in towards the Vlads, which is back to where he normally would be, so the casual cloak.
Yep,
just for Phantom Assassin.
Small 550 gold tangent can definitely pay off in the long run. Especially with things like tree heals. Puppey, speaking of which, has been going for a Max Nature's Guise build since there's decent counters against living armor, I suppose, and better root this way as well. So easier for them to gank heroes like Puck and OD as well.
Yep. Well, Puppey can take all the experience in the top lane and get more of those levels. Meanwhile, KheZu, because they pushed the Phantom Assassin to the bottom lane, he starts farming up the stacks. There was only one small stack with the extra status that was prepared for him, but with his TP up, burnt the shrine, does his farm, and this is the catch-up game. The net worths now, you actually have the second and the third net worths being the Phantom Assassin as well as the Bristleback. It's the OD who's still number 1, not like no surprise there with Sumail, but it's the fact that Team Secret have just played such heavy catch-up with their cores and shut down the draw on the puck.
Exactly, because they spent time moving around, even if Sumail died one time.
You're too deep, Spirit Fort, mid 1, sees Universe, but they're just focusing on the Sand King. Now they see no seal, no seal. Able to orb away back to the tier 1 tower Universe.
Yeah, did he use it on the Sand King? Is that what happened? Must have been something like that.
I don't know if it was just in range.
Also possible, yeah. Getting out of range. Skywrath Mage is a very fast hero. He's got boots up, going to be building towards the Veil. I actually like the build a lot, especially, well, I guess this makes Ember not having to buy one.
Oh, Bristol's got to get out of here. Like, Upheaval, KheZu, he's actually, he's got 3 Warpath stacks. The movement speed will allow him to get to the left. Here comes Sumail, however. Double damage rune, actually it looks like it on the OD, but they just hit like a truck. Bristol will fall, didn't have a lot of life. Puppey was trying to find him before this engagement happened, but he just didn't see him.
Yeah, only 23 damage actually from the Draw Aura, but boy does he hit hard right now. Yep. Huge mana pool. Null Talisman, Staff of Wizardry. He's probably got his 4-staff line out, and he does actually. So, really good spot for Sumail to be in, and that actually is going to nullify a lot of the disable for Secret. And now that he has that, it's going to basically make YapzOr useless if he can force whoever gets gone on. That's
Are
really
they actually going to defend this? First TP's coming in from KheZu. At least he can pull the creep wave off the tower. With the draw range, obviously looking to take a lot of towers. The fact you brought down the tier 1 tower in mid is fantastic. But they're fighting wherever MP is not.
If they can just stop or delay the tower going down, it's a huge gain for them. Because again, living armor is going to be the way that they heal things.
The courier rooted up by Puppey and picked off. Nothing was on it, however, so it's just a courier being sniped.
That's a lot of gold.
It is.
Universe,
trouble on bottom lane. They're going to go for the Dream Core, start to TP out. Again, crit. With his 2 level up people, even Phantom Assassin, who has a Phantom Strike, had nothing to jump to. She just knew she had to leave.
It's the safer move by far. Puck is actually very good against Phantom Assassin because PA is such a mobile hero. But if you just TP and there's no other stun follow-up, it's an easy save. He's going to lose some farming time, but ultimately dying is going to cost him the most. And he's not that far away from Sumail.
They're letting the tower go. Because with Arteezy down here, you're going to push the Bristle back up to the top lane and force the trade-off. If they were going to defend it, YapzOr would never have abandoned the tower.
Oh, Puppey is going to the tier 2. Maybe he's just going to set up and watch rotations, most likely. Look to see if they move to the mid lane, if they go somewhere else.
Well, he found a target.
Yeah.
He found Sumail. Sumail has a haste rune and a 4-star, so catching him out is going to be difficult.
Oh, yeah. He's got overgrowth at least, so he can prevent him from attacking, but they're just watching. He just wants to see where they're going right now.
He also sees the fact that Zai has an observer ward. So if you can see where that gets planted down, that's also a huge victory for him.
That could be great. So ultimately for Secret here, yes, they have the tree. They would prefer not to have the trade, but getting a trade at least is going to offset a lot of that gold advantage. So very good for Secret, especially because they have a tree to look for kills later. So they have a lot of space that they can split push with Ember. I don't think they're too upset as long as they defend this tower.
They're going to find Zai. Puppey setting up. YapzOr's going to come over. They didn't actually have the detection. The seal from YapzOr didn't come in time. And now Puppey reveals having to commit the overgrowth. They drop down the Mystic Flare with a 4-star from Sumail. Pushes him out of range of it. Bristleback silence for the moment. Couple of sick charges there, but not really a lot to work with. And Puppey, still revealed by the dust, will be brought down. This all comes down from EG pushing the issue on the bottom lane towards the tower. And well, KheZu trapped up. Can they actually break him free if this tick charge is being committed? But KheZu doesn't have enough life. Sumail will have a double kill, and MP has no influence in the proceedings that EG have initiated, and they will keep going.
They just do way too much damage to the Bristleback right now. He needs a cloak or something, but even just the right clicks alone were doing a lot of damage. This is that period of time where Bristle can make some good things happen, but he is not the ultra invulnerable hero that we usually see late game. So they do take the fight, they do lose KheZu, but they still keep the tower up. So I think that's ultimately great for EG, or for Secret.
I'm kind of surprised that EG aren't forcing the issue, but maybe one of those reasons is that courier snipe. It's down for 22 seconds, but Warlock hasn't been able to bring out that Tome of Knowledge out to him yet, so he hasn't had the Warlock Golem available. Puppey's looking for his target. Zai in the tree lines. Good target. Catches him out. They go for the Searing Chains. A quick silence and a quick fall of Mystic Flare, but the 4-star from Sumail breaks him free. Zai will Barrow strike himself away. I don't know if he's got enough life to survive this. They're bottling him up so Zai can survive, and he will be able to do so.
Yeah, with Raindrop, he's going to be just fine. Bottling from Sumail, great. And again, the force that paying off twice in a row, and that's one of the reasons that Secret couldn't take that fight. If they drop Mystic Flare and Ember goes in with Flame Guard and the fight doesn't happen there, they lose the fight. And it comes down to Searing Chains as well. Then that last engagement, Midone moved in, he tried to use Searing Chains, but the Sumail is already gone. So they have to coordinate perfectly, and they have to play around that force staff now. Because if they keep making mistakes like this, they're going to lose kill opportunities, and EG might just roll over them with better farm.
But now you have the Vladimir's offering up on the Phantom Assassin. She's going to be initiated on.
Ooh, no
and,
TP.
well, she's standing her ground for the moment. Maybe look for a couple of crits onto Universe. Jumping forward, attacking in. The rock from Crit will have to be committed. A new creep wave's on its way, but MP doesn't have enough life to get back to it. So Crit will find the kill with a punch from the Warlock Golem. That's the first time they've killed the Phantom Assassin.
It's kind of a big mistake there by PA. He didn't have his TP in his inventory. With that said, though, Warlock was ready. He wanted the TP to come out so he could rock it. So ultimately, EG gets exactly what they want. It's the enemy carry kill, and it was a great pick. Definitely worth the ultimate. But it does mean they're bad at team fighting now, so maybe Secret will try to exploit this. Maybe pop a smoke somewhere after they push their lanes, go take an engagement.
It also looks like, can they take the engagement?
I think so.
You can attack in.
It's possible. They just have to find the right one. They're definitely trying to fight. We see Puppey finding heroes and trying to get kills. And they know that their heroes are good at skirmishing early. PA's fairly good. Ember's definitely good. But all the fights have just gone slightly poorly. It's a great ward here in the jungle as well for EG, spotting Secret's movements right now. Or at least going to spot things like PA's farming and not smoking to come kill us.
And so he's going to go back down to the bottom lane to continue his farm. Bristleback's doing the same kind of thing. You said KheZu needs to have that block by having the hood up and running. If he's got that, then he has a chance to survive in the fights.
It'll help a lot.
Phantom Assassin's going to give the life steal at the same time. And, well, it kind of feels like YapzOr's been countered by one item in this game, which is the 4-star, fully upgraded to a Hurricane Pike on Sumail.
And that's a lot of the reason that Skye isn't picked. I think that Secret was maybe hoping to have just a simple off-lane puck, but with the lane swap, Secret had to go for a different setup, and he ultimately hasn't been super useful.
Finished the farm. The Dire actually scanned him, so they know he's there. And KheZu is really uncertain about him. He's got enough money now, so he can buy the Ring of Health.
That's pretty good. So yeah, good finish. He still has to worry about the pure damage from OD though, so.
Sumail, they got a good position on him. Spirit jump forward, no, he Hurricane Pikes down. Mid-1 still wants to commit, but he actually Astral imprisons. Mid-1 can't control him. Sumail is just outplaying him now. Universe and Crit the rear with Arteezy holding the high ground. It's a three-man coil. They try and make space with the overgrowth, but Zai preps the epicenter. The damage will be too much for Secret to repel. Mid-1 will fall. MP as well as KheZu are on the run, but the orbs keep flying into that bristleback. They'll fight underneath the shrine, but do they have enough? They're actually having to run away from their own shrine regeneration. Puppey scouted out for a quick moment.
They might go back in though. Yapru's up in 6 seconds. He hasn't used his ultimate yet.
And you can just go straight in. Burrow strike on top of KheZu. You've got a leech seed. KheZu trying to get close enough to that so he can leech a little bit more life. MP jumping in. The damage. Looking for it on Arteezy. The Mystic Flare. Zai will cop most of that, but he's not dead yet. The orb attacks from KheZu, from YapzOr on the back line. He'll get himself a double kill. Chris pretty low too. YapzOr will claim him. It'll be a triple kill for YapzOr. Now it's up to the big one. It's Sumail. They need more help. Mid-1 will arrive. MP with the crit. It's MP that will take it, ending a huge spree. And evil geniuses, they'll lose everyone but Arteezy.
A very MVP-esque fight from Secret there in that it looked so bad. They spread out nicely in case they needed to TP, but EG stayed in the area trying to get more, or maybe just looking for more picks, maybe trying to turn it to a tier 2, but instead they TP'd the heroes back in and they finally got to outplay their opponents. Didn't see a rock in that fight either. And EG used most of their big cooldowns right at the start when they first killed the YapzOr, so just staying in that area really cost them.
And it's almost like there was buyback talents on that fight because they came back so quickly.
It was early game, man. And Skywrath Mage gets the level 10 out of that. A huge advantage, and now he felt good. Once that Force Staff was down, even if his ulti was splashing on 2 heroes, he got multiple cycles out of his silence, tons of arcane bolts. It really paid off in that fight.
Do you actually like his choice as well, moving in for something like a Rod of Atos? Like who was that meant to be for? I know you subscribe to the Book of Fog where Atos is fantastic.
Rod of Atos is literally made for Skywrath Mage. It is so good. It's a root. It prevents them from moving. I believe you can't use Phase Shift now as well, so it's perfect. If there's a Force Staff, it still counters it. But against some of these more mobile heroes, Atos is amazing.
3-men smoke up. They're coming for mid-1. There's your Silence and Dream Call with the Gust. They'll drop the rock. Mid-1 needs something to jump out to. He won't have it, however. YapzOr was on the way. They actually had both MP and YapzOr fairly close to him, but EG commit everything to ensure the kill on the Ember Spirit. This opens up Roshan for EG to do. Ember has buyback available. Every ulti is up.
And it's just a good choice.
Oh, they found an opening. They found Puppey in the back lines. He can't overgrowth. He got silence. He was trying to create a little bit more space. Needs to go invis. Do they actually have enough overgrowth? Here comes your imprisonment. That should be enough damage. His living armor is regenerating him up to 180. Okay, that's one way to ensure it. You throw out the orb, that MP's gone back inside the pit.
They want to go in there. They do see the golem is low.
But they lost crit. They've lost the upheaval slow now.
They've also, but with Puppey dead for 18 seconds, okay, they're going to play a little safe. They'll move on out here.
Well, Sumail has an invis rune. He can close the distance on MP, but they're too far away. The golem is timing out. They don't have that tank anymore.
And Secret's getting really close to a strong moment. MP's almost got his BKB, so his damage is going to be weak, but he's going to be magic immune, which is pretty much everything EG has, with the exception of Drow, and he's got evasion to cover that. So MP can jump on whoever he wants if they take a good fight. But even still, the vulnerability is still on Ember Spirit. This guy is so countered by all of the stuns and silences and mana drains that EG have. Gonna see a replay.
Yeah, have a quick look at it again. So EG really group up. KheZu's the man tanking it all, but here's that TP coming in from the tier 2 tower. It's going to be KheZu causing so many problems in the back, and it looks like there was actually no good opportunity. It was actually on cooldown. That's why Crit never got the rock off. He never had it in the fight.
That's really tough for him. YapzOr getting a double kill on the back line, forcing EG back and forward. And YapzOr surviving with the magic wand and finally a silence to guarantee Sumail's death. It was a great TP by him.
Well, we're back to the world of living, and right now Team Secret engaging in. We already lost the SK mid-1. How to pick up a double kill is actually MP who claims it. And with this, with the Vlads, with so many players from Evil Geniuses down, they will now take Roshan, Team Secret.
Yeah, their heroes are so good at running at EG. It's that straightforward. All 3 cores great at it, even the support on Tree good at it. And now they're going to scout for Sumail.
Universe The Offlane's in. Midone's actually TPing out, but it's
him.
Puppey. He finds Samael, the Observe Ward, up on top of the shrine. They're imprisoning over only on the illusion with a Mystic Flare. Arteezy will fall. They jump in deeper. OD. Samael has one more swing. In fact, Mid1 will take it. The Ember Spirit Flame Guard burning him down while the Veil was buffing it up. Meanwhile, back to the objective. They're looking towards Roshan once more.
If EG is not ready to fight, they cannot get caught. Secret's way too mobile for that, and with the Aegis going to Secret now, this means that anything EG wants to do in the next 6 minutes while this Aegis is up is so much harder. Because that means not only does MP have his BKB almost, well in fact he might be able to go back for Deso with the Aegis, but he can just jump on his opponents, throw himself away, make them waste their cooldowns, and turn that into a really good team fight.
And you're running double jump as well. The Blink Dagger on Mid1.
That's great. He needs that.
He can close the distance. Phantom Assassin can close the distance. The Dro buff up that EG have been accustomed to in the early laning phase, which gave them such an advantage, such a pushing advantage, will now just be deleted because there's 2 heroes that could just hunt him.
On the bright side, I think Arteezy is going an impeccable item build. He needs Dragonlance and Treads to hit buildings easy,
Puppey.
and he needs Shadow Blade.
Get away from the sentry ward.
And with the Shadow Blade, he can turn it into a fast Silver Edge, which finally gives him a Bristle solution as well as a PA solution if she doesn't have BKB. So I think Arteezy is going more of a ganking and team fighting item build rather than a slow siege, hard to defend one.
I wonder if they still have enough damage for this though.
I think they do. It's just you can't have your opponent, you can't be Overgrowth, and they can't have BKB active. Then you can definitely kill people between OD and all their nukes. But ideally not a full 5v5 team fight where that Secret gets to initiate or have Tree grab a great Overgrowth. Then it's hard for EG.
Yeah. But EG have had amazing vision, so them getting a pick off, understanding when Team Secret is out of position, is not beyond the realm of possibilities. That's what that Deep Observer Ward's doing. And they've had this ward down multiple times on top of the Radiant Shrine near their Ancients.
I mean, it's useful.
So much.
It's useful for spotting rotations and stuff, but the place they need vision right now is in the lane. They've got some, but not a lot.
Samael's just trying to build up the stolen intelligence at the moment, hitting into KheZu. Elise has plus 16, plus that Sanity's Eclipse, but they've lost their tier 1 tower. They fortify it just because you may as well. They'll come back off cooldown once the tier 1 tower drops.
They'll try to deny this with his Blink Dagger, but now he's not even going to mess around. It's super dangerous. If Tree's spotting there behind the tower with no sentry, easily it could be Sumail getting caught and possibly followed up on, so they'll play it more safe here.
But they're hunting Arteezy. They're looking for the Dro Ranger, and it's because their Observe Ward scouted Arteezy, headed towards the west, but now he'll TP out and reveal himself on the bottom lane.
And now there's a Solar Crest on Bristle, which finally gives him an item that's advantageous towards the OD. And that's going to hurt EG for the entirety of this game. They might even need a Solar Crest of their own, but Warlock is building it, just finished his medallion. And they got to take a good fight because things are starting to look hard for EG. Their lineup is not as good at ultra late game, but it's pretty good. I would say it's not your typical all-in Drow lineup. It's like some kind of a weird hybrid. And if Arteezy can still keep his farm up, and by the way, he's ahead of everybody on Secret, then it could turn into something really scary late game, like an actual Drow Ranger carry that doesn't just get pushed over.
As if they can get the combination right. Like that's the big thing as well. Like fighting inside your base looks really scary. Like Team Secret going into the EG base looks really scary just because of the big AoE combinations that EG is capable of pumping out. Now they jump in, and you can't get the combination when you're losing your backliners. Trip wants to drop the rock, but not on a BKB target. He'll only stun up over on Mid1, and Puppey coming in. Overgrowth is ready. It actually goes off. OD can't run away. Rooted to the ground. Epicenter has done some work. Triple Burrow Strike working from Zai, hiding in the sandstorm. Puppey will finally go down. Samael done so much work, being pushed around the back lines in his own way. KheZu ready to fight with MP. MP jumping in deeper. KheZu needs to create some space. Arteezy backing up for the moment. MP almost down, will go down. They want to go for more. Zai's hanging around. Burrow Strike's off cooldown right now. He can slot KheZu. Samael, there goes your Hurricane Pike. Easy kill onto KheZu. And Evil Geniuses. It looked bad when the rock only stunned on Mid1, but Samael had so much space and so much smarts during that fight.
Yeah, it looked like such a bad fight for them. They lost the Warlock. All he got off was the Golem, but When that happens, you know that Warlock player is going to micro that Golem perfectly, and regardless, they weren't able to follow it up onto a Sumail kill, as well as Ember Spirit getting killed on the side, and he bought back for that, and didn't even feel safe going back in. That was like a tremendously bad fight for Secret. EG completely outplaying them. Yeah, that gold graph and experience graph just dropped with it. That was a 4,000 gold loss and increasing. The experience shift was about 6,000 in favor of Evil Genius. Now mid one misses his combination on Arteezy because the Silver Edge is totally done for him. And the Observer would probably helping with that reaction time a bit, but that could have been a kill there. If he grabs the Searing Chains, it keeps him visible. Puppey gets the follow-up. That would have been an Arteezy kill. So EG's just staying a little bit ahead of Secret in the last 5 or 10 minutes. And now he's building towards BKB on Drow, so now he's not even going to have to worry about the nukes on his opponent's side. Very, very comfortable position now for EG after this. EG pleasing the Russian crowd with the Russian lines that got added in 2 nights ago. Are there any good ones? Did you read the translations yet? I did not actually. Okay. I didn't even know they're in the game. I got the Chinese ones. Okay. Sunstrike, Sunstrike! That's great. Alright. So Universe is now going to go in for the Aghanim Scepter, so the BKBs, which potentially could be allowing the PA just to run wherever she wants to. Any of their heroes. Is going to restrict it, yeah. Everyone gets stunned, everyone gets locked. Bristleback is reaching his tanky position, but it may not be enough. Bottom lane, initiation's over on the pockets, Universe. A quick orb jump away, and he will be fine thanks to that defensive Eul Scepter. Very smart for Universe there. He knows if Ember goes for a move like that, there's probably a tree as well. He did not mess around at all. Orb, instant, invis, or phase shift that is. Don't let Puppey get the follow-up. Otherwise, he would have died there. So good escape. And Ags is definitely the way to go. Historically, I think my favorite moment of this build and Puck becoming popular was, maybe not popular in the first place, but at TI, Wings used Puck to shut down the PA draft from MVP. And this is a great way to do it. Dream Coil is the solution, and Ags makes it even better. Yeah. Well, if EG can hold their nerve and not have a bad fight, then they'll be looking great. We still, like, everything we said about Team Secret's fights from before still looks bloody good. Rod of Atos control, if Puppey can get a good overgrowth, if MP can move around freely in the BKB. All these things can work for them, but... They're starting to lack damage, I think, is their biggest problem. They still have Sky Combo, of course, but when a PA goes for a Vlad's into a Black King bar, you've got immunity, you can stay alive and fight for a while, but you're kiteable, and you don't have very much damage. It's not a typical carry damage output. And consistently, this is the problem with PA as a hero. Ember Spirit has been having trouble even getting into the fight without dying, and he still doesn't have some way to remove silence. Like, his net worth is actually in the bottom 5, top of the bottom 5, but that is a really bad place to be as an Ember. But it's just been a tough game, and he's missed a lot of crucial chains. What do you think about this on Skywrath Mage? YapzOr's currently got an Aghanim Scepter in his quick buy. It's a great item, actually, because you get double Arcane Bolt every time you cast, double silence, double ulti. If they they can't force that 2 people. That's a one-man item. That's very true. They may build another one soon. We'll see. There's one on Sand King, and that's it. So 2 Force Staffs total, and those have to be the heroes not stunned when that's happening. Well, the BKB is now done on Sumail, so he won't care too much about the Mystic Flare for the moment. Yeah. Normally you don't want to buy BKB this early in OD, but he has to against the silences of his opponents. So a needed move, and I think it'll be fine. He's got 20 attack speed perk to make up for some of the damage lacking, and he'll just go into more int items after this. Probably a Hex, maybe a Shivas. Interesting, we just brought up the ward set as well. A lot of wards being purchased up by Evil Geniuses, but Team Secret have had to switch their, okay, mid. That's going to be okay. Made him use his Hurricane Pike. It also makes him a little bit more uncomfortable mid, and may make EG heroes think about rotating here. So ultimately fine what he tried to, the annoyance that he tried to put forth there on the YapzOr. I would maybe like to see him go something like Tranquils, get some extra movement speed, but... Mid one, blink in, Searing Chains, they're going to 4-staff him up. They've got another 4-staff in the hands of Zai, but Sumail stands his ground. Rod of Atos is flying forward, but he can dodge both with that defensive imprisonment. Crits in the neighborhood, Mystic Flare, Sumail just straight out, and Zai, the Epicenter, combining up with the Rock of the Bonds. You got nowhere to go but down. 2 heroes lost. You're definitely going to make it through. KheZu cannot run out of upheaval and cold arrows. What a fight by EG there. I'm very surprised Sumail was able to get a Blink Dagger out, considering the ulti damage from Skywrath Mage must not have hit him, but he gets out in the perfect Epicenter Burrow Strike that even stunned MP before the BKB came out. And because of that, completely overpriced for Secret. And fantastic move for EG now. 33 seconds before you're going to have the Bristleback up.
They are actually checking Roshan with Zai. He's still another 2 minutes away. It's actually the max spawn time for Roshan. So while he's not up, EG may as well keep pushing. Golem is there. Arteezy got some damage to pop out.
There's a lot of heroes with it.
Oh boy, look at the tower just rip apart. The 4 range heroes all buffed up together. The tier 3 tower is gone. They can start looking towards shrines, and Team Secret have just had their back broken.
That was amazing. Double tower, and they got shrine advantage now. Now it's just a massive EG advantage. And it looks so good for Secret for a moment there, but consistently the hero that hasn't been able to do enough is Ember Spirit. And it's just because of how bad the matchup is and because he's behind in farm. And now the network just looks insanely in advantage of EG in terms of the individual ones. The 2 cores, the Drow and the OD, are way ahead of the Secret cores.
Team Secret are coming to try and contest Roshan. Smoke's not going to break when they come to the pit. Someone should probably poke that in to see if he's up, which they do now, realize he's not.
And they're trying to catch EG players right now. They know their big ultimates are on cooldown, so this is the time to fight. Even Sanity's Eclipse is a long one. And it's part of the reason that Ember's having a tough time. It drains your mana, and he needs mana to make his hero effective. At least until he gets a BKB or other solution.
Aghanim Scepter for the Roshan fight for EG up on Universe. Issues galore. Issues massively galore for Team Secret.
And Puppey's trying to spot out EG to see if they're going for Roche Pit. He does see the orb in. Well, Roche control is the next big thing. I think if Secret loses that, it's almost guaranteed going to be a Roche loss, or sorry, a Rax loss later when they use it for pushing. So they have to control this. It's very important for Secret. Keep wards up, break smokes, things like that. And that's why Puppey's standing here.
Zaya's an Invis rune on bottom lane. He's going to break it out now, so mid one will say hello. I think all he wants to do is kill off the creep wave and make them look behind each other. Mid one, wonderful slide dodge. Will come back up to his spirit, just north of the Roshan pit.
And they're TPing in.
Yeah, you got another 5 seconds or so until Roshan's up. In fact, make it 1 second. The orb, it doesn't give enough vision, or does it? No, it didn't actually see deep enough inside the pit to see Roshan, but the smoke is out from EG. 5-man smoke up. Puppey will be nearby. He'll break all of the smokes. With the observable, he sees everything but the silence. They're jumping around EG. They really want to bring down Puppey. Nova overgrowth for him. The Slider Fist Searing Chains catches out both Sumail as well as Zai, but there's no follow through. In fact, it's going to be MP jumping on the front lines, battling up against the BK beat up Arteezy, but the Dream Call and the Rock. Team Secret, you're going all the way down to the depths of hell. When that Fatal Bonds will connect you, you're all slowed up by the upheaval. No one can reach crit, and I don't think anyone can reach a hopeful point here for Team Secret. If they lose everything here, they'll lose Roshan, they'll lose a Rax, a double kill for Sumail, and Team Secret, that was meant to be their big opportunity to get back into this game, contesting EG at Roshan, and it fails horrendously.
Puppey did his job completely by breaking the smoke, but the problem is he doesn't yet have a Blink Dagger. Not weird at all for 32 minutes as a tree. And because he doesn't escape and Secret was so far away, there was just no way for them to get there before Puppey died. Ember Spirit tried to, and he tried to slow them down, but EG's so far ahead now that they can just roll over Secret. Skywrath Mage is not good in this position, and the rest of the heroes are also very reliant on their opponents not having BKB. It was just straightforward fight for EG.
You still have 30 seconds before Bristleback is up, before your frontliner is here. No fortification available, and double damage rune on Arteezy. Just the icing on the cake. EG will take the Rax, and I feel like right now, watching either Invictus Gaming or LFY, they have the power to keep pushing, but they're going to play it safe, take the Rax, and then back out.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't mess around here. No ultimates on the big three. At least Puck's got his, but you do not want to fight when you don't have BKBs. When they have BKBs, straightforward. Ember Spirit does nothing, Skywrath Mage does nothing, PA doesn't have items to do damage, so he still does nothing, and even Bristle. Bristle's maybe the biggest threat, but he's not super overfarmed at this point.
Well, the fight's going to go on again, so we'll have a look at it. So this is where Puppey gets broken out.
KheZu's trying to slow things down, he just gets banished. And then it's just MP by himself trying to hit EG, and at this point, they know they're in big trouble.
Yeah, the second that rock connected, even with the BKBs, because it was the fresh Aghanim Scepter, they may not have realized it either. But KheZu and MP, the two big ones. KheZu has always been that front liner that's just been able to tank everything when he plays the Bristleback, but in this game, there's just too much for him to deal with.
It's really tough to play against an OD, honestly. The extra pure damage, it's not something you can counter other than through raw HP and evasion. And if you're behind, it just isn't a solution in a lot of cases. He's got the Halberd, that's a good way to go, but he's got to cast that before BKB is used, and in a lot of cases, it won't even ensure a teamfight win. It'll just buy you some time.
KheZu's trying to get whatever farm he can before he's forced to go back inside of his base. That net worth is just streaming down to the pockets of evil geniuses. It's not like they've got enough money in that organization already. EG will knock on the top door. And this is it for Team Secret. They have to defend this. MP is still moving over. His 8-second BKB is going to do some work, but when those orbs from Sumail are able to connect, actually not getting that much. He's only got 4 intel stolen at the beginning of this fight. They seal him up, Drow Ranger, they force staff it up as well. Dream Call out from Universe. Epicenter from Zai still available. Thought he's going to do it when he Burrow Striked in, but the overgrowth, it's good from Puppey, but down drops the rock. It's Sumail who's just standing his ground. Remember, he's got the BKB, giving him protection. The second life from the Aegis to the Immortal, but you don't want to be expending this one until you find something bigger, and maybe the kill on mid one, that's something bigger. Brought him down, dropped the ulti. OD will commit it while he's still got the intelligence to work with. MP living armor is allowing him to survive, but Sumail still so low. The attack from YapzOr won't be enough, but caught too far on the front lines. It's mid one. Here comes Zai. Burrow Strike forward. Living armor again. It's helping MP survive, but Arteezy way too much damage. They just keep forcing the issue against Team Secret.
And they're not playing for the late game. They're trying to end it right now because they have a giant advantage. And I wouldn't even be surprised to see GG. There it is. EG just having a little bit of a rough early game, and then all of a sudden getting into this momentum swing where there was nothing Secret can do. And it's just based on drafted, not just for the lanes, but also to have really good matchups later. And it paid off big time just because they shut down the right heroes.
Yep. I'm still going to look down towards that bottom lane.